I was unclear on what your rollout strategy is going to be with these units. Were you planning on selling them? Are you a manufacturing company that you manufacture these units? Are you going to treat it like a laundromat and have that sort of source of revenue? Are you going to do them on a lease back, a buy?
No, we would do it on a buy. Okay. They would buy them, but you could either buy them or we could do it.
What would be their incentive to buy them? How could you show a revenue?
They would collect the revenue.
But how do you show a model that says that if they pay this much, they're going to get this much back? If you have a vending machine in the lobby, if you put that vending machine in, you get X amount of money for having that vending machine there. If you have your machine there and instead you purchase this machine, how much revenue is going to be generated for this machine?
Dollars per square foot.
Yes.
Like supermarket.
I guess, yeah, like the.
So that was part of my thought process is how, so you don't have to answer that, but that was a big question for me, is why would I, as a buyer of this machine, first, I probably want to be leasing it, not buying it. Okay. And if I did lease it, then how much revenue is it going to generate? I didn't see anything in there. So that would be a huge question that, in the overall vision of it, that would have to be answered.
Okay.
Problematic service, keep it under repair, all that type of stuff. As an owner, you might want to pursue the arcade machine, the pop machine model, where somebody owns them all, installs them all, and the guy who has or even the ATMs, the guy who's got the shop takes a little piece out of it, but somebody big owns it all. I think you're hopeful that the actual chateaus or whatever else would want to have this as a benefit for their guests, and so that's a different sell than what you do.
Yeah, I wasn't sure for a long time who the customer was, and I came to this point of view, and I thought that the only thing that made sense was because you said 3 times in your presentation there's a weak need for the product. It's an optional product, it's a nice to have product. People generally don't want to invest in that. But if I was the owner of this establishment and we had this thing and that thing, it might give me a business case that I get some dollars per square foot that might be more attractive than another option I have for the same square feet, different dollars, different risk. That's your real competition, by the way, is the other thing they're going to put in the same square feet to generate the dollars per square foot. Not the other dryer, but vending machines competition.
Yeah, I think first of all that we saw a very current marketing plan, starting from the place it should start and end in the place it should end. So it's a good feedback on that regard. I missed the projections in the end for 5 years ahead, so I can see what in the end you are looking for. And you mentioned the Canadian market and said that in 3-4 years ahead you will enter the US market. And we are all looking for global products and services and not locals. It's a matter of marketing cap. And that basically.
You presented well. And one of the things that investors will inevitably do when they see a new product like this is they'll ask themselves, why hasn't this happened before? And so I think it's always good practice to answer the question before the investors get to imagine all kinds of things which might not be as favorable. But I'd be curious to hear what you think as to why this hasn't happened before and why there's not one open quadrangle right now.
I think because maybe it takes this time, like if there's not the technology to do it quickly, people aren't willing to wait. I think that's one of the big problems. I mean, if it takes longer than a minute, people aren't going to wait because everyone just seems to be in such a rush that I think maybe that might have something to do with it. But
I mean, if you could really do the drying, we could throw out all our existing dryers and buy this and do it all in a minute. I love it. Whatever this is.
Your home dryer. Home dryer dries
a nuclear dryer.
Yeah.
It's got to be Indiana.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, well, Couple of quick things. I liked your first sketch. I didn't like the second one because I had a bunch of numbers on it. You could have given the scale just by putting a person next to it. Don't ever show me a Gantt chart in a investor presentation. And lastly, you must absolutely, this goes back to what Diana said to her, you must expunge these words, kind of, sort of, like, not sure, it's all about confidence.